This is Mile High.
We have to do it better in order to move people along.
Up, down, inside out.
If you get your mind right,
it is not. It is a receiver of thought.
because love is my first technique.
It's now time for the show.
Welcome to the Mile High Podcast. This is your host, Dr. Daniel Knowles. Thank you for joining us on this special episode of the Mile High Podcast. Before I introduce our guest, I am so excited to spend time with. Reminder, in just a few days, hundreds of chiropractic teams are going to be rising up to a new altitude and joining us at Mile High, August 17th to 20th. If you have not booked your ticket, booked your hotel, and booked your seat, it's time to book it. Go to www.milehighchiro.org. It is going to be an incredible celebration, and people are going to be deepening their philosophical understanding, increasing their business strategies, and expanding their vision, and you want to do that with your team. So look forward to seeing you there. Today, I am very excited to have this guest. Brascho is the Vice President of Chiropractic Leadership Alliance. I have known him since before I was a chiropractor, as a chiropractic student, and met him at a Sherman Lyceum. He has been involved with chiropractic that long, actually, longer than me. He's been the voice of CLA for 27 years, and I've been in chiropractic shorter than that. So you may as well call him a chiropractor because he knows more chiropractic than a lot of chiropractors do. And so welcome to the Mile High Podcast, Brascho.
Thank you very much, Daniel. It's great to be here.
Well, we're grateful to have you. And, we met a long time ago at a Sherman College Lyceum, and then shortly after that, at Total Solutions, when I went to my first Total Solutions, I either was still a student or had just graduated. I'm not quite sure. Remember that back in the day?
I do. We still do Total Solutions, do 2 a year. But yeah, we started Total Solutions back in 1995, October 1995, when we came out with the EMG, surface EMG, the thermal, and the range of motion device. The owners of the company then, Patrick Gentempo and Christopher Kent, felt like it was time to go ahead and create a training seminar for our clients with that many technologies involved. So October 95 we started it, and you actually and I met, and also your dad was a huge contributor in the beginning. He was one of the first leaders in the profession to actually grasp technology for chiropractors, to objectify need for care initially, and then need for care after the pain went away or the symptoms went away. So I remember him contacting me in like 97, 98, and he was looking around at the different technologies that were available for chiropractor, the different companies, and he chose CLA because of the focus of the company to subluxation-based wellness chiropractic, and the fact that we had a number of different technologies. So, we go back a long time, and I'm grateful to Dr. Donnie for that. And then, of course, meeting you stepped up when you were like a lightning bolt when you came in, and you remember the press release you did, not press release, it was actually in the newsletter, the network newsletter, you did a case study.
Yes.
The EMG and thermal, and that was really a well done article, and that was with just EMG and thermal. And then when we came out with the HRV in 2006, you really grabbed onto that too, and I think you're still running with that, right?
Well, actually, we're presenting a case study on HRV at Sherman College IRAPS this year, the International Research and Philosophy Symposium that we did with many clients in our office, and the Insight Subluxation Station Heart Rate Variability Unit. And as you know, we call it the NeuroPulse. And phenomenal additional tool to assess people. And I mean, realize 27 years, there's not many people that are non-chiropractors that have been in chiropractic for that long. And you've spoken to 11,000 DCs over that time. You've helped over 6,000 clients, have greater success. And so you're and what you've seen is probably even some stuff that people don't even want to know, like because sometimes you see things that you're going to see things that people don't want to admit, is what I mean, about their practices and success and what they're doing, because I'm sure you've seen trends in that time period. And I'll tell you, I remember so distinctly being at those Total Solution events and having how much your passion for chiropractic then, and I know that still burns, so deep. And CLA has never wavered from that original mission. It's just elevating the excellence in chiropractors as they understand and examine and analyze and report subluxation to patients. So with that, what are some of the things that you've seen as subluxations that hold chiropractors back?
Well, there's three things that I hear all the time from chiropractors who I speak to, excuse me, who are not utilizing, who are doing, say, ortho and neuro tests in their exams. And that is, number one, they don't see enough new patients. Number two, there's not enough certainty and confidence in their exams, both with the doctors and with the patients. And probably the biggest thing for a lot of people is they don't see enough kids. And there's a fourth thing, and that is people don't stay under care after their symptoms go away. So they have a pain practice. That's what happens with ortho and neuro testing, And I remember the first chiropractor I went to 27 years ago. He did X-rays, did ortho and neuro tests. I walked out and I was impressed with the X-ray, but he never did another X-ray. And I kept going to him, and I was like, why am I still going? I mean, I feel better. So I saw that back then, and I still see it to this day, that having objective documentation to demonstrate need for care initially changes everything, and that's how you create a wellness practice, So I feel real good about working with this company, not only because I feel like I'm changing lives. There's nothing else I could be doing without a chiropractic degree. There's nothing more I could be doing to help the humanity than helping more chiropractors get to more patients through the technology. And you get referrals because people tell them their friends about the technologies, and so that's how I feel like I'm helping humanity in more ways. So it's exciting. I've enjoyed it, and that's why I'm still here after 27 years. It's hard to get rid of me.
Well, and let me ask you this, because you said something about helping humanity, and I mean, truly, when people become chiropractors or in the chiropractic field, they have a sense of that they're helping people, right? So I'm sure you have incredible stories to tell of people's practices changing, but I'm also thinking something else. You probably have one or two great stories of your heart being touched by someone's patient's life being saved or changed for the better because they ended up, having care. There's probably a couple of those things that you've seen in that 27 years that were pretty inspiring.
Well, the biggest thing that comes to mind, I had a client a couple of months ago who she got the technologies, and I contacted her a couple of months after she had it to see how things were going, and she said, well, I just had a patient come in yesterday who she's a Medicare patient, and she's got 3 kids, and she's never brought them in. And she said, she came in, I scanned her with the technologies, showed her that it was non-invasive and painless, and just took a few minutes, and her kids were with her, and the doctor is a female doctor. She said, do you mind if I check your kids? And again, the kids have been there before with the mom, and nothing ever happened. But the mom said, yeah, sure. She wasn't saying, let me adjust your kids. She said, let me check your kids with the computer. So she did. She scanned all 3 of them, and all 3 of them signed up for care through the mother. So that right there, 3 lives could be changed, will be changed for their future. These are young children that probably would never have gotten care. So that's the kind of thing that's uplifting to me.
Right, and just by the process of saying, let's check them. I remember something significant at my first Total Solution. It had to be 96 or 97, and Patrick Gentempo said something. And by the way, Patrick is speaking at Mile High this year, which is I'm super excited to have him come out. He's helped us with many things in Colorado over the years, so it's great to have him out at Mile High. But he said something from the stage at Total Solution which impacted me so much at that time. And often there's just one sentence in a whole weekend or something that could be, the switch that you're like, wow, this is huge. And he said, it's people may not want to do screenings or do marketing or whatever. And he said it's your moral and ethical obligation to market, because if you don't, there's a person that would not have ever received care because you weren't there.
Yes, exactly. And I've, just being there at a screening and get one person under care, which is usually is going to be a lot more than that. In fact, I was talking to a doctor last week who called up to order a scanner, the thermal scanner for screenings. And I said, well, what motivated you to call? He said, I was at a screening last weekend at a mall. It was a health fair. There were two other chiropractors there, and they both had Insight scanners. And he said they had lines going out the door. I didn't have anything. I got maybe a couple of patients, and I know they got more than I did. So I need a scanner. So you hear that kind of thing. It's exciting for sure.
Right. Absolutely. Because bottom line is, we all do everything that we do in chiropractic. The reason is because it's an honor or privilege to serve people towards a greater calling for their life. Now, let's say something more. The CLA created the Core Score, which was a very major enhancement. Can you say something about what that involves and why that helps people have more certainty and serve people better?
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. Actually, that all came about when David Fletcher bought the company in 2011. That was a huge moment for CLA. He came in with excitement and vigor. He'd been, David Fletcher had been a client for 16 years, so he knew the technology well, and he was actually involved in the research for the HRV when we brought that in 2006. So he was kind of behind the scenes at CLA for a long time. He came in 2011, bought the company. One of the first things he did was create the Core Score. And the Core Score basically takes the three top technologies, EMG, thermal, and HRV, and combines them into one number on a scale of 0 to 100. Same kind of grading we have in school. 60 and below is failing, 80 and above is good. So patients grasp it. It's easy to explain by the chiropractors. Reported findings are quicker. And that has been profound. It's been our most popular package. And if they have the inclinometer for range of motion, they can also add that into the equation. So, David really put a shot of life into the company, and he's been, instrumental in taking us to where we are now. And now we have a wireless EMG that just came out. I'll have it there next weekend. So we have wireless EMG, thermal, HRV, and range. So everything's wireless now. So no foot pedal, no box, silver box, nothing to plug into the wall. So pretty exciting for a lot of our clients.
That's pretty amazing. That's really
thumbs
pretty
up
amazing.
Today.
Yeah, I mean, in technology advances. Now, one of the other things I find with instrumentation, I know this is my experience. I'll tell you this. This is true experience. I remember getting the unit first year out of chiropractic school, right? And so I had the EMG unit. I've never used it before. I had used thermography, okay, but I had never used an EMG unit. And so now I'm thinking, A, does this work? Does it tell me something that's I can use? And B, what if I do these and I do them again in a month or 2 months or whatever it is, and the person isn't better, right? That I remember that distinctly going in my mind, like being afraid to rescan the person in a month or two, because what if I suck? In reality, I was like, what if they aren't better? Because there's accountability there. And then what happens is most chiropractors, sadly, don't hold themselves accountable to some kind of outcome. At best, they hold themselves to an accountable to pain. At best, the majority of practitioners, right, rather than something more. Is there an objective outcome that's something beyond what you're saying you feel with your hands, or that the patient's feeling that's going on internally with their function? And I remember that first couple times rescanning people and being like, wow, they're better. And I was like, I rock,
Well, there's something else too, and there are times when a scan on the first re-exam can look, I wouldn't say worse, but I would say high readings, but that can be because the nervous system is waking up,
of course,
from being because of subluxations. So I tell doctors, you tell your patients on the first exam, in a month we're going to look for change, not so much improvement. In 3 to 6 months, we want to see change. It depends on how well you stick with your care plan. Hint, hint. How long you've been subluxated. What other stresses are going on in your life. All will affect how quickly your nervous system gets better.
Right.
So I think that's important to do.
Right.
So,
Well, and there's a lot of depth to that, and there's a lot of depth to interpretation. In fact, I do an interpretation course that I have available that I made because I interpret it a certain way for tonal practitioners that I developed that's really different to help them see like in network spinal analysis, the spinal cord tension patterns. And I've talked on some of your Thrill 30 calls with Dr. Fletcher about that. But here's the thing. What happens is, and again, Patrick Chintempo thing that he said they stuck with me is so many chiropractors, one of the biggest problems is they're selling something that they don't know that they're delivering because they don't have certainty that they're actually making a change. And when they can see changes, and even like you said, a reorganizing going on, that when you can see changes like that, that's huge, you know, because it means that you can realize, hey, I have more certainty. And that's what happened. As I scanned more people, I got more certain about my care. And that changes what you deliver when you review results with people. You have your conviction comes through about what it is that you're doing. And very few things pain me more than seeing someone who got some type of instrumentation, Insight subluxation station, they bought it, they use it for screenings, and they never use it again, or something like that. They don't rescan people because they're missing out on the real gain that they can get from using a technology.
Right, and knowing that, like I said, knowing that you have to grasp the change in a month. Like I said, we're looking for change. That doesn't have to be improvement. We want to see, just doesn't need to be stuck in a pattern. We don't want to see the same scans again.
Right.
And if we see the same scans, we need to adjust more.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So that's not a bad thing either. So.
Or differently, or make a change in our
Right.
recommendation. Look at how we're adjusting people. Look how we're applying forces. But you hold yourself accountable to an outcome because if you're not seeing a pattern change, then the nerve system's not healing the way that you want to. And if you didn't know that because a person just had their headaches go away, yet the same neurological patterns there's a problem, right? Because you're not getting you're not having another outcome assessment that the nerve system's actually changing beyond a symptomatic state. And so another thing, in those 27 years, you've probably seen some amazing practice changes. What was one or two like significant, like the person got the unit and something changed in their practice?
Well, a couple of clients of mine, I think of Christina Gray up in Wilmington, North Carolina. I don't think she'll mind me mentioning her name, and Brenda Baskin over in Texas, both told me that within 6 months to a year, their practices, their retention had gone up over 100 PVA.
Wow.
So patients were staying under care longer because they wanted to see their follow-up exams. And then they'd see their follow-up exams and see they need to keep coming in. And then once they reached maximum health, they saw that they wanted to keep coming in on a wellness basis and get checked every 6 months to 12 months with the scanner. So, you know, seeing retention increases like that, of course, that eliminates the need for more new patients, or you know, and and it just makes it more fun because you got the same people coming in and getting care with big smiles on their faces, right? So,
yeah. Exactly, and that's what we like to see, smiles on people's faces. So, you know, and it helps people live more purposeful lives when you're serving people in that capacity. So, absolutely, and help people look more deeply into this nerve system. What is some of what's ahead for CLA? What's coming down the pipe that maybe we can be excited about in the future?
Well, we just came out with the wireless EMG. That was a big investment in R&D and time, and hats off to David for getting that done. And you know, we don't have any plans for new hardware, and we're just going to refine that. We do have new cloud-based software that the future of computers is, you know, having cloud-based software that's easy to back up. You got your data storage, so you don't have to worry about your computer crashing and losing your data. It's HIPAA compliant, things like that. So we've got, you know, we just continue to refine the new hardware and the new software and Total Solution. You know, you know, Total Solution is probably the best product we have. You know, it's a life-changing event. It's hard to explain in a couple of minutes what Total Solution can do for someone, but I will tell you that the doctors I've probably sent 2,600 doctors to Total Solution, which is, makes me feel real good about my life. And those doctors have much better results with the technologies than the ones who didn't go to Total Solution.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
That's really the name of the game, and just coming back with certainty, confidence, conviction, purpose, just a whole. It's not just about the technology; it's about being a chiropractor.
Right.
It's like, and that's the next one's October 19th through the 22nd, and then we'll have next year. So, and it's in Colorado Springs. It's
right.
close to. So, but I'm looking forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks, and it's a great program. I was telling you the other day when we were talking to prep for this, I was like, I don't know how you do it. You run a busy practice and you're running a big program like this. I was just laughing. You were together at 6 a.m. and for you, and
yeah, I don't
amazing.
know how I do it either. But
you probably wonder why you do it sometimes, right?
I wonder that as well. But I know why I do it, because it's purpose of people, more lives being changed. It's just, that's the driving force. And I'm really excited to see you out. And Total Solution is a game changer for me. I think I've gone to Total Solution 4 or 5 times. So I can't recommend it enough. Who's speaking at it in October?
Well, David Fletcher will be there doing the science. He's a really great speaker. As you know, he spoke last year at your event. Troy Dukowitz speaks there, and let me see, Tracy Wilson. Sorry, he's gonna kill me. He's a friend of mine. Is the other speaker there. So they do a real great job of really going over philosophy, and then between chiropractic philosophy and the allopathic philosophy. And the differences and the science behind the chiropractic philosophy versus the medical philosophy that is shaky, So, and then the science is covered in marketing, and so it's a powerful event, 3-day event. So,
all right, and I love it. I think people need to go to that. If you have the insight and you have not gone to Total Solution, you are missing out. And it really, you got to connect the technology and the science of people. So, and I'm grateful for people that are coming to Mile High that might have the insight and have not connected with you as a person, for the opportunity to have that relationship with you and connect with you, right? As well as people that will connect with you and then will realize they need to have more certainty in their office and have an additional outcome assessment to help people, increase the level of care that that they're getting in the clinic where they serve people. So, well, I look forward to seeing you.
Also, I want to mention too, people can attend Total Solution, doctors can, and staff, without having the equipment. So,
that's awesome. Well,
yeah.
that's awesome too. I didn't realize that. That's great. So how do they, if they want to connect with you about CLA, if they want to find out more about the Insight or Total Solution, how do people do that?
Best way to get in touch with me is Brock at subluxation.com. BROCK subluxation.com. Pretty easy to remember. That's the best way to do it. I'm on email all day, so
get
in touch with me.
Excellent. Well, thank you again for taking the time out of your busy schedule to help chiropractors. Look forward to seeing you in a couple weeks at Mile High. And remember, you can also learn more about CLA by going to the best URL in chiropractic, which is www.subluxation.com. So, and you can learn more about them there and about the technology. And I cannot recommend them enough. I could not imagine practicing without the Insight subluxation station at this point in my career. And my hands are pretty darn good. Having that instrument is tremendous in helping them continue to get better. So by monitoring what's going on the inside. So thank you so much, Brock. And we're going to sign off. And remember, join us August 17th to 20th, milehighchiro.org. And if you enjoy these podcasts, never miss one. They're on iTunes, they're on Stitcher, on Facebook and YouTube. Just make sure that you subscribe when you're there so you don't miss one. All right? Like our page on Facebook, www.facebook.com/milehighchiro.